New tonight at 6. An IT-made investigation has uncovered a problem with the state's Board of Nursing.
Yeah, dozens of nurses who were supposed to be denied a license or have theirs monitored are now able to work. As IT-mate's Bennett Haeberle explained, some of them face criminal charges. Bennett.
Lori, one nurse was the focus of a DEA investigation. Another was charged with marijuana possession. A third told the nursing board she was not ready to practice after overdosing on heroin. Despite this, all of these nurses have active licenses because of something the state board didn't do. If you or your loved one ends up in one of these, chances are you'll be cared for by some of these.
And when was this?
Nurses who have to be approved by the State Board of Nursing before they can work. At least that's what's supposed to happen.
Ma'am, you marked yes to question number 4.
The board normally approves licenses, renewals, and can hand down discipline if a nurse is charged with a crime or accused of poor work performance.
It was very illegal.
But earlier this spring, more than 40 nurses were granted active licenses without the board's approval. It happened without a single vote being cast. This was our first attempt at finding an explanation.
Hey, Ms. Hall. Hi, I'm Bennett with Wish TV.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
No, you're fine. We spoke briefly last month.
Yeah, I can't do interviews. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed.
Okay, I just had a brief question just about, there were several nurses who were either supposed to be on probation or were supposed to be denied, but they all have active licenses now because the board didn't vote.
I'm not allowed to give interviews, so.
Is there a reason you can't give interviews?
You'll
None
probably
of
have
our
to
board
talk with
members
Mike.
give interviews.
Why is that?
They only speak through rulemaking and adjudications.
We'll come back to that. But first, a look at some of the nurses who were approved. Erin Somerville was among them. In February, Erin told the board she did not feel ready to resume her work as a nurse. 2 months earlier, court records show West Lafayette police found Erin wedged up against a bedroom door, blue in the face and barely breathing. She had overdosed on heroin with a child crying in the next room. Despite that, Erin's license was renewed, listed as active. When we tried to reach her,
I was trying to reach Erin. I'm working on a story about the Board of Nursing.
She's not here right now.
her grandmother told me she had checked into a local hospital and was seeking treatment. Another nurse, Katrina Motley, is facing charges of Medicaid fraud and using a fictitious registration number after a DEA raid at this Indianapolis physician's office. No one answered the door at her house. Her attorney told me she had no comment and has pleaded not guilty thus far.
But you do plan to...
This Indianapolis nurse didn't want to appear on camera, but was among 9 nurses the board initially recommended be denied a renewal.
What do you, I mean, do you have any thoughts on the fact that you have an active license now and you and a bunch of others initially weren't supposed to?
She had no comment. The board had no comment. How did this happen?
But this is a public meeting. They're publicly appointed officials. Why can't they speak?
Because we're going to ask them about cases they've decided.
Well, in this case, they didn't vote. I mean, and that's why all these nurses have licenses that initially they recommended should not have licenses.
That was
So was that an oversight on the board's part?
no, it was a timing issue.
General Counsel Michael Mingland says the timing issue has to do with a little-known state law, Indiana Code 25-1-5-4, paragraph J. Reads in part, if the 120-day period expires without action by the board, the license shall be automatically renewed. These cases had been on the books for months, and during a March meeting, the board lacked a quorum after a member stepped down. That left board members unable to cast votes, even for nurses they felt should be denied or placed on probation.
So what happens to all these nurses who weren't supposed to have licenses but now do?
They're active to practice.
Active to practice. We attempted to reach out to several others who were approved by default. Some didn't answer, others declined comment.
I think some people might be disturbed that there are nurses who were involved in criminal charges that now have active licenses that this board felt should not have had a license.
We're all concerned.
Is there a fix for this? Do they have to?
It'd have to be a legislative fix.
Okay.
Because as long as the legislature is requiring that they take action within 120 days, we have no control over whether or not we have a quorum on a given month.
Now, who has oversight over the board's efforts? No one. The members are appointed by the governor. The board's attorney says that this issue has not happened before, but with the current vacancy, there are concerns about having enough members to vote each month. Bennett Haeberle, 24-hour News 8.
Bennett, thank you.